Johnny Depp has always been known for his iconic roles and unique style, but his transformation over the years will leave you speechless. From his early days as the charming heartthrob in Pirates of the Caribbean to his more recent jaw-dropping makeover, Depp's evolution is nothing short of shocking. His look, his career, and even his personal life have taken turns that no one expected. This is a transformation you have to see to believe. Prepare to be amazed. Johnny Depp has always been one of Hollywood's most iconic and unpredictable stars, known for his unique roles and eccentric appearance. Whether he was playing the wild and unpredictable Captain Jack Sparrow or the lonely, misunderstood Edward Scissorhands, Depp had a look and style all his own. His appearance was wild, his hair unkempt, and his outfits reflected his offbeat personality. For years, this image was a huge part of his appeal. Fans loved his scruffy, rebellious style. He was the rock star of Hollywood, never afraid to break the mold or embrace his quirks. But over the last few years, something has changed. Johnny Depp's look has undergone a dramatic transformation, and the world is taking notice. Gone are the messy, wild locks and the rough-edged vibe. Instead, Depp has embraced a much more refined, mature appearance. His hair, once messy and untamed, has now become a sleek silver mane. His beard, carefully groomed, gives him the distinguished look of a silver fox. The scruffy, carefree style that once defined him has been replaced with a more polished, controlled look. It's like Depp has stepped into a new era, and this new version of him is unrecognizable to many of his longtime fans. But this change in his appearance is more than just about style. It's about something deeper. Depp's new look signals a shift in his energy, one that's quieter, calmer, and more self-assured. Where he once exuded chaos and unpredictability, there's now a grounded confidence about him. He seems more in control, more at peace with himself, and more focused on his future. This transformation comes after years of personal and professional struggles. Depp's legal battles, his divorce from Amber Heard, and the public scrutiny that followed had taken a serious toll on him. For a while, it felt like the chaotic, rebellious energy that once defined him was all people saw. But now, Depp seems to be moving past that, stepping into a new phase of his life. The sleek silver hair, the well-groomed beard. It's as if he's shedding the past and embracing a new version of himself, one that's more calm, centered, and confident. Fans have embraced this transformation, even giving it a name, the Silver Fox era of Johnny Depp. It's a fitting label for the actor, who has always been known for his uniqueness and unpredictability. This new version of Depp is still the same man underneath, but it's clear that he's ready to take on whatever comes next with a renewed sense of purpose and a fresh, polished image. His appearance is just one part of a bigger transformation, a journey of personal growth, and a desire to move forward. Johnny Depp's life has always been one of extremes. From the moment he first stepped onto the Hollywood scene, he seemed destined to become more than just an actor. He was a force, a personality unlike any other. Known for his eclectic roles and quirky charm, Depp was seen as the wild card of Hollywood. But behind the scenes, his life was anything but the picture-perfect Hollywood story that many assumed it was. Depp's journey through personal and public struggles has been as turbulent as some of the most complex characters he's portrayed on screen. In the beginning, Depp's rise to fame seemed almost effortless. His breakthrough role as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean turned him into a global superstar. He became the face of one of Hollywood's most successful franchises, and his portrayal of the eccentric pirate captain cemented his place as one of the most beloved actors of his generation. But while Depp was basking in the limelight, his personal life began to unravel in ways that would soon overshadow his success on screen. Depp's first major personal battle began with his relationship with actress Amber Heard. The couple's relationship seemed like a perfect match, full of passion and public affection. But behind closed doors, things were not as they appeared. Their marriage, which started in 2015, quickly descended into a series of public and ugly disputes. Allegations of abuse, both physical and emotional, surfaced, and what was once seen as a fairy tale romance quickly became a nightmare played out in front of the world. As the media picked up on the stories, Depp's life became a spectacle. The public was torn. Many saw Depp as the victim, while others believed the accusations against him. The details of the relationship were explosive, and the legal battles that followed seemed never-ending. As the court cases dragged on, Depp's career was directly impacted. The actor was removed from major projects, including his role in Pirates of the Caribbean, and the accusations overshadowed his once uncontested reputation as one of Hollywood's most versatile stars. The scrutiny was intense, and no matter how much Depp tried to keep his personal struggles out of the spotlight, it became impossible to separate his personal life from his career. The toll this public battle took on Depp was immense. No one who was watching could ignore the effect it had on him, both mentally and physically. The once energetic, quirky actor appeared increasingly withdrawn, disheveled, and emotionally exhausted. His public appearances became less frequent, and when he did step into the public eye, it was clear that something was wrong. He seemed defeated, almost like a shadow of his former self. His once magnetic presence on screen, which had made him one of the most captivating actors in Hollywood, was now replaced with an air of sadness and resignation. As the legal battles with Amber Heard continued, Depp found himself not only fighting for his career, but for his dignity. The media circus surrounding his personal life was relentless. Every new development, every allegation, every accusation was splashed across headlines. Fans who had once adored him began to question what they had seen as Hollywood's wild child. Depp's image, once built on his ability to escape the traditional confines of celebrity, was now a target for public judgment. He was no longer the man they saw in films. He was a man who seemed to be losing himself piece by piece under the weight of the public's gaze. During this time, Depp's personal life became even more complicated. His relationships, both romantic and familial, began to feel the strain of his public struggles. The pressure to perform at the level he once had seemed insurmountable. He had been through multiple divorces before, but none seemed as painful or as public as this one. His second marriage to Heard was followed by a messy and acrimonious split, and as their legal battle escalated, Depp was forced to reckon with not only his personal demons, but with the fallout of his actions. He was no longer just the quirky actor on screen. He was now the center of a bitter public scandal. And the toll wasn't just emotional. Johnny Depp's financial struggles became another very real part of the story. The actor, known for his lavish lifestyle and expensive tastes, faced the reality of a dwindling fortune. Reports revealed that Depp had accumulated millions in debt, having spent lavishly on homes, yachts, and art. The cost of his lifestyle, combined with mounting legal fees and his public battles, created a financial crisis that left him fighting for stability. The very empire he had built was now crumbling under the weight of his personal and public struggles. But it wasn't just the legal battles or the financial issues that plagued Depp. The emotional toll was immense. Depp's once happy and carefree demeanor was replaced by moments of deep introspection. He talked openly about his struggles with addiction and depression, admitting that he often turned to alcohol and drugs to cope with the pressures of fame and his personal turmoil. His history with substance abuse was well known, but during this period, it became clear that the struggles of his past were very much part of his present. He was no longer able to compartmentalize his pain. It was spilling into every aspect of his life, from his career to his relationships. In the midst of these personal battles, Depp found solace in his music. His longtime love of playing guitar became more than just a hobby. It was his escape, his way to deal with the pain and the chaos. He formed the band Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry, and the music offered him a creative outlet that he desperately needed. While the music didn't fix the issues in his personal life, it gave Depp a space to breathe, to reconnect with a part of himself that wasn't defined by scandal or fame. It was clear that Johnny Depp was going through something that could break a lesser man, but through it all, he held on. He continued to fight, both in the courtroom and in his personal life, trying to piece together the fragments of who he once was. His career, despite the setbacks, was starting to show signs of a comeback, but it was clear that his path forward would never be easy. Depp's public struggles weren't just about the legal battles or the financial issues. They were about the pain of watching his public image crumble and the personal demons that had haunted him for years coming to the forefront. His journey has been a tough one, but it's also been a journey of self-discovery. For Depp, the battles he fought publicly weren't just about defending his reputation. They were about finding the strength to rebuild his life. It hasn't been a straightforward journey, but it's one that's shown just how resilient Johnny Depp truly is. Despite everything he's gone through, he continues to rise, refusing to let the weight of his struggles define him. After years of turmoil, both personal and professional, Johnny Depp seemed to be at a crossroads in his life. The fame that once came so easily, the roles that made him one of the most beloved actors in Hollywood, had started to feel like distant memories. For a while, Depp's life was overshadowed by scandal, legal battles, and the unraveling of his personal life. His image, once defined by eccentricity and charm, was now clouded by controversy. But what happened next was nothing short of remarkable. Depp began the process of reclaiming his identity, not just as an actor, but as a man who was determined to rise above the pain and chaos of the past. It all began with a decision, an understanding that he couldn't keep running from his past and the battles he had fought. For so long, Depp had tried to keep his personal struggles hidden, presenting an image of himself that was larger than life. But after all the public scrutiny, he reached a point where he knew something had to change. It wasn't just about repairing his career, though that was important too. It was about finding himself again. It was about stepping into his truth, facing the consequences of his actions, and owning up to the mistakes he had made. This process would not be easy, but it was essential for his growth. Depp's career had been built on playing unique and often larger-than-life characters. From Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean to Edward Scissorhands, Depp's roles were always unconventional. He was never the typical leading man. His appeal had always come from his willingness to take risks, to step outside of the box and play roles that weren't just about fame, but about depth and meaning. But in the years following his highly publicized divorce and legal battles, Depp found himself unable to shake the negative perception that had been placed upon him. The roles he once sought, the challenging characters he used to gravitate toward, suddenly seemed out of reach. He wasn't just an actor anymore. He had become a figure of controversy. But Johnny Depp wasn't one to fade away quietly. The very thing that made him stand out, his unwillingness to be anyone other than himself, became his greatest strength. In the aftermath of everything he had gone through, Depp began to rebuild himself, not just professionally, but personally. And his comeback, though slow, became a testament to resilience. Depp started taking roles that were less about the spotlight and more about the kind of work he was passionate about. He no longer needed the big-budget blockbusters to prove his worth. Instead, he sought out projects that spoke to his heart, roles that allowed him to explore more meaningful, introspective characters. He wasn't just trying to get back into the Hollywood machine, he was trying to find his voice again, in a way that felt authentic and real. In 2020, Depp's career took a significant turn with his role in Minamata, a film that marked the beginning of his professional resurgence. The movie was based on the true story of war photographer W. Eugene Smith, who exposed the horrific effects of mercury poisoning in a small Japanese fishing village. Depp's portrayal of Smith was nothing short of brilliant. It was a character that required a depth of emotion and nuance, a far cry from the larger-than-life roles Depp had once been known for. His performance in Minamata was hailed as one of his finest, reminding audiences of the actor's talent and range. It was a reminder that even in the face of personal battles, Depp still had the ability to bring something special to the screen. This role also allowed Depp to reclaim his identity as an actor, shedding the baggage that had weighed him down for so long. For the first time in years, he wasn't being defined by his legal issues or the headlines surrounding his personal life. He was being judged on his acting alone. The film, while not a massive commercial success, was critically acclaimed, and it marked a shift in Depp's career. No longer was he the Hollywood bad boy or the subject of tabloid gossip. He was once again a respected actor, earning praise for his craft. But Depp's transformation wasn't just about the roles he was taking. It was about his mindset, his approach to life, and the way he started to view himself. He had spent so much time in the past defending himself and reacting to the accusations and scrutiny that he lost sight of the most important thing, his love for acting, for the craft itself. Slowly, he began to reconnect with that passion. His work in Minamata wasn't just about reviving his career, it was about rediscovering what made him love acting in the first place. He wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone anymore. He was simply doing what he loved. In addition to acting, Depp's personal life began to stabilize as well. Though the wounds from his previous relationships had not fully healed, he took steps to focus on what mattered most, his family and his own well-being. He became more private, stepping away from the public eye to focus on his personal life, his relationships, and his health. This time of reflection and self-care allowed Depp to regain the clarity and peace he had long been searching for. Depp's personal and professional resurgence wasn't without its challenges. There were still moments of doubt, times when he questioned if the damage done to his career and reputation could ever truly be undone. But with every role, with every decision to step back into the spotlight on his terms, Depp continued to rebuild. He didn't need to be at the top of the Hollywood ladder to feel validated. His return was slow, but it was steady. And the more he leaned into the person he was becoming, more grounded, more introspective, the more he started to realize that this was the version of himself that felt the most real. As Depp embraced his comeback, it became clear that he was no longer interested in the fame and fortune that had once defined him. He had experienced the highs and lows of stardom, and what mattered most to him now was finding fulfillment in his work, his personal life, and his journey forward. The public Johnny Depp may have been the swashbuckling pirate or the eccentric movie star, but the private Johnny Depp was someone who was deeply reflective, someone who understood the importance of growth, both professionally and personally. The shift in Depp's career wasn't just a simple comeback, it was a reclamation of his identity. He had gone through the storms, weathered the chaos, and emerged from it with a new understanding of who he was and what he wanted from life. This wasn't the return of a man trying to prove himself. It was the emergence of someone who had learned from his past and was now moving forward, not for the sake of his career, but for the sake of his own peace and fulfillment. Depp's journey is one of resilience, of rising from the ashes of his personal and professional struggles and emerging stronger than before. It's a reminder that even the most turbulent of times can be the foundation for something greater. And as Johnny Depp continues to reclaim his identity, both in his career and in his personal life, it's clear that his story is far from over. If anything, it's just getting started. Johnny Depp's story is one of constant reinvention, a tale of an actor who has not only transformed himself physically, but has also evolved on a deeper, more personal level. His journey through Hollywood has been filled with ups and downs, but what stands out most is his ability to adapt and change, even in the face of adversity. After years of personal struggles and public scrutiny, Depp has emerged with a new sense of self, one that's more grounded and introspective. For someone like Depp, whose career has been marked by such iconic roles, the idea of reinvention seems almost impossible. He built his reputation on playing quirky, offbeat characters like Captain Jack Sparrow and Edward Scissorhands, roles that made him one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. But fame, as Depp would discover, comes with its own set of challenges. Public scrutiny, personal battles, and the relentless pressure to maintain a perfect image can take their toll on anyone. What's been most remarkable about Depp's reinvention, however, is that it hasn't been about turning his back on the past or pretending that the chaos didn't happen. Instead, he's embraced it. He's acknowledged his mistakes, accepted his struggles, and learned from them. This acceptance has allowed him to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose, which is evident in the choices he's made in both his personal life and his career. The shift in Depp's image is not just a matter of changing his hairstyle or picking different roles. It's about a deeper, more profound transformation. He's no longer the wild, unpredictable figure that dominated tabloids and Hollywood gossip. Instead, he's become someone who values authenticity and peace over fame and notoriety. Depp's new sense of self seems to be driven by a desire to be more than just a movie star. He wants to live a life that's true to who he really is, without the weight of external pressures. This shift has been especially evident in the roles he's chosen in recent years. Instead of the blockbuster films that once defined his career, Depp has started taking on projects that are more intimate, more personal. His involvement in films like Minamata, where he played a real-life war photographer, is proof of this. Depp's portrayal of W. Eugene Smith was raw, honest, and moving, showcasing the actor's ability to dive deep into complex characters with emotional weight. Depp's career resurgence is also a reflection of the power of reinvention. After facing numerous setbacks, including his legal battles and public controversies, many people thought his time in Hollywood was over, but Depp didn't let that define him. Instead, he found new ways to reconnect with his passion for acting, choosing roles that spoke to him on a deeper level. It's not about fame or box office numbers anymore. It's about doing work that challenges him and allows him to grow as an artist. Looking ahead, Depp's future is full of possibilities. He's no longer bound by the expectations that once weighed him down. The man who once seemed lost in the noise of fame is now forging his own path, free from the pressure to conform. Depp's story is one of resilience, proof that even when things seem broken beyond repair, there's always room for growth and change. His ability to reinvent himself and reclaim his place in Hollywood is not just about a career comeback. It's about redefining what success truly means. And for Depp, that means staying true to himself, embracing his past, and moving forward with a sense of purpose and authenticity that will surely inspire others to do the same.